Well, hello. I would like to share with you what some of my recent experiences have been. This happens to be the last week of the year, meaning that last September, I started on a commitment to do a 3-year journey, tracking my experiences week to week, hour to hour, month to month, unifying the processes of my mother's family into my father's family. And this is, for me, which is called the number 5 girl, the last month of the 12 months. This happens to be, at the time of this recording, the last week of the last month. Now, there's been a whole series of things that I would like to review, but there have been some which have been most challenging in the last month. I would put it simply that I've had the opportunity to have small glimpses. For me, it's more like a vertical line, even though I'm using a round dot. There's something of a vertical line, and I'm going by that vertical line. That vertical line to me is a tiny, very narrow slit of light, which, if I get a glimpse of it, it is a glimpse of something higher about myself or my true self. And what I notice is I'm spinning around it. And this is not a comfortable thing, because what it shows is, like this drop of water, I'm spinning around it at different diameters, but not really occupying the true experience of my own higher self being, my own capacity to be a person or a soul. Now, the reason for it, as so far as I can tell, is that I'm filled with hundreds, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of micro impulses that are woven together into a fabric to create an underlying biochemical, hormonal, social, emotional series of impulses to keep me spinning. If I examine this spinning process, what I find is, over the last year, I've slowly begun to apply the protocol, show me the truth around this impulse, this law of attraction, this feeling, show me the truth from the divine perspective about this, guide this truth, help me do this. Slowly, I've dissolved or unraveled dozens, perhaps hundreds or more of threads. And what I notice is that my drive to do certain things has gradually become diminished. And now what it's helping me realize is the magnitude to which I am not being myself, which means there are thousands, tens of thousands of other impulses, biochemically or otherwise, emotionally or otherwise, which I'm engaged in, that are obstructing my ability to access my true self. What does that mean? It means that somewhere inside me is the emotional memory of things I'm processing from childhood, ancestor, collective consciousness, who knows? But I'm now spinning around and around in an automatic system of avoidance of different feelings that I don't want to feel. What that means is my ongoing experience in the world, posturally, vibrationally, biochemically, is I'm engaged in spinning. Lately, I've gotten a glimpse, just a tiny glimpse, of not spinning. So small as to be shocking that my real higher self is very different than my social, emotional personality, body, and if you will, my gender, my relationships. I'm spinning. I believe that we're all doing this. We're all engaged in a continuous process of emotional triggered reactions to situations around us, and we respond according to whatever interior self-protective reaction that we could call nothing less than a facade, a mask. How I'm responding to children is different than how I respond to adults. How I respond to women is different than how I respond to men. But there's always a method by which I'm continuously in response. Not a pretty picture. I don't want to live my existence in a continuous triggered response to situations, whether they're people or nature or colors or sounds or frequencies or the media or television or anything. I personally have no desire to be captured in a triggered reactive way of being not who I really am on a divine love level. Well, it's not an easy thing to observe oneself as being in a triggered state of response. The reality is, if this drop could be a symbolic representation, I'd like to enter into what is genuinely me without all of the thousands of triggers that are related to the unresolved feelings of my childhood, every relationship I've ever had, my ancestry, and so on. I don't want to be captured in this cage of triggered responses. If I look around, I'm sorry, all I see is people involved in just triggered nuances of reactions, biochemically or otherwise, numbing, nullifying, interrupting each other's progress by, beating each other up. And wow, I don't want to contribute to that. So in the last year, yes, I've acknowledged and visited every part of my mother's family 1 month at a time. The personal experiences about that have been amazing, painful, challenging, beautiful, and I won't even begin to go into them. Then for the last 6 months, I've done my best to unify my mother's family with my father's family. And so for 6 months, I've traveled since the last equinox in the spring. I've traveled 6 months through my father's family. And I have to tell you, it's been almost a walking hell. And the reason for that is my father's side of the family is not very filled with pleasant emotional memories. And I'm needing to re-access the 3 grandmothers and the 3 grandfathers from my father's side of the family, and I am now triggered. The triggering process, by the way, comes typically as social emotional interaction where people arrive or situations arrive repeatedly where I need to watch my triggered emotional reaction with this person. I go, wow, I need to protocol this, to feel the truth about this. And I have been doing this again and again throughout the day, nearly every hour, engaged in how that is associated with the feeling of this 2-hour time set and this week, and so on and so on. Part of my quest in this is to explore this, learn something about it, and then make some suggestions for those of you who might be coming along, what I would do differently. Now, as these things begin to fall away, I notice some things that I'm triggered 100% of the time. 100% of the time, my interior body chemistry is hormonally keeping my digestion working, my lungs breathing, my heart pumping, And they're all pumping the same network based on what it was configured as. So I'm saying whatever my genetic endowment is, not just from my family, but hopefully my iris constitution, my soul level authentic constitution is inside of all this, and I'm trying to find the authentic me versus the embedded pain and suffering from my family tree and childhood and so on. How to remove that. Even partially removing it reveals I'm still 100% of the time in an intrinsic body chemistry focus where I'm still avoiding getting inside of this. Wow. I'm somewhat in shock of the magnitude of the forces that regulate and keep my heart beating and all of me growing to re-experience the unresolved emotions that my family tree or my own soul has, giving me the opportunity to experience and respond to each one of these with a new way of being. I'm not doing very well with it. But I would say this, the first year has not been easy, and there are some suggestions I would make. And they have to do with, oddly enough, the body. Nutrition is an absolute necessity. Supplements, probably also a necessity, because very few of the foods we get really is actually nutritious enough to give the body what it actually needs to have the maximum experience to feel. Nutrition, exercise, occasionally body work. Take care of the body, body, body. Enable yourself to do that by walking. Engage the body. Engage wherever you can the sense of touch. So what I'm going to do differently on my second year versus my first year, but looking back, I wished I would have started it last year, is to really engage the constitutional meaning or significance of every gland and organ and body system inside me. So I'm compellingly creating a chart that I will offer to you, which ideally would show so far of what I've learned about the spleen, or the liver, or the gallbladder, or the appendix, the pituitary, glands, organs, body systems. I would say, take your feeling experiences inside your body and touch every organ, learn the anatomy. There are wonderful programs of basic anatomy, free anatomy programs, where you can look at the pericardium, you can look at the thymus, you can look at the thyroid. You can go in and out of all of them. I'm suggesting that you basically do your best to touch and feel, fall in love with every bone, gland, organ, body system inside you until you feel it. That's a start. The sincere desire to want to feel all of these sensing organs inside you. Those include every body system and organ inside the body, and they're all related to each month. I think that will make it a lot easier for people coming along if you just take that time. So I'm suggesting that on the second week of every month, I'm going to provide a map of the A body system for that month, or a gland, and then relate them to other ones to create an interpenetrating sensitivity so you can feel with your body the higher consciousness as it is designed by God through your iris, your birth order, your family tree phenomena. That's kind of where I am with it. And I hope to be able to demonstrate to you a higher significance of being able to occupy for myself a higher and higher percentage of my own true nature. And so far, I don't feel that I'm there at all. I feel like it's being revealed how far away from it I am, so I can really begin to emotionally commit. And by that, I think it takes, I'm sorry about this, I think it takes probably 4 hours a day as a lifestyle, from nutrition to body to exercise to feeling to sensitivity to study. I think it takes time every day. So this is more of a lifestyle than it is a curiosity for me. Next month, which is literally in about a week, I'm entering into the second year of a 4-year experiment, and I am emotionally excited. I'm enthusiastic, but I'm also a little afraid and fearful for what's coming up because so much stuff is coming up. I'm just learning how to be able to protocol more and more. So if there are those of you who want to come along, heaven help you, because it's going to take all the divine help you can get to really occupy the totality of your own right to exist as a soul. So I hope to communicate a little better in the future, that every week I'm either going to do an audio or a video in some form, and I'm available for guiding people who are experimenting with this a little more thoroughly. I will be available to help people as you need it. So if you feel like you want some additional input or some tutoring about how to do it, just text me privately or otherwise, and we'll have an online experience. So thank you for taking the time to go through this and to follow my experience. And I hope to make yours just a little sweeter and a little bit more beautiful in the long run. Thanks for being there.